I'm the West Coast. And welcome everybody to the Aquifer Educator to Educator webinar today. We'll be talking about how to maximize the use of the Aquifer case library to solve the curricular challenges that you may be facing now. And hopefully you're going to learn some fun things and discover like great treasures. We think of this as a treasure hunt. So here's our agenda. We're going to spend a few minutes with introductions. And then I'm going to walk you through sort of what's inside your Aquifer subscription. We've had a lot of people now expand what they've been using in Aquifer, and so I want to make sure that you know all the good stuff that's there. And then we'll dive into Aqueduct, which is our platform to show you how to actually customize what you're doing for your learners at your institutions. At 3:25, everybody's going to go out to the breakout sessions, and they're listed here, what we're going to be talking about. So how to use Aquifer to embed basics in basic science courses, so that's going to be super fun. How to support shortened clinical rotations, and how to use Aquifer in advanced clerkships and electives and courses. So it's going to be really fun. Then we're going to come back and wrap up with some final questions, and I'll go over some resources. So who am I? I am Sherilyn Smith. I'm the Chief Academic Officer for Aquifer. I'm also a Professor of Pediatrics. I'm a Pediatric Infectious Disease Doctor at the University of Washington School of Medicine. And my current role there is, sorry about that, is to help students who've had some difficulty with their clinical skills. So I'm the Clinical Skills Learning Specialist there. I've been a program director and clerkship director in the past, so have had great fun teaching students over a long period of time. So the goals for our session today are outlined here. We want to make sure that you understand all of the different types of content that are available for you in Aquifer. I'm going to show you how to search for content to really make custom courses and meet your educational needs. This is a specific demo about how to do that. So, and we also have some great resources on our website in case you don't catch it the first time through. And then you're going to get to spend some time with a great group of educators, really learning about best practice tips, about how to use the case in the breakout sessions that we talked about. Preclinical and didactic courses, shortened clerkships, and advanced clerkships and electives. And finally, you'll be able to ask as many questions as you like and hopefully learn about some more resources that you didn't know about. So a few logistical notes. Many of you have already done this. Please disable your video. You are automatically muted here in the main session. And in the breakouts, please mute when you move there, and unless you're asking a question. We are continuously monitoring your questions in the chat. So as you think of something, just pop it in the chat and we'll do our best to answer those. You are going to be moved out to a breakout session automatically. So, and this will be determined by what you registered for. And finally, this session is being recorded, and we're going to be sharing that in a follow-up email as well as on our website. So if you would like to share this with others who couldn't make the session, please feel free to do so. So this is my favorite part. I get to introduce all of the great educators that are here today to share their wisdom with you. So first, Dr. Dawn DeWitt, who's a professor and the senior associate dean and the director of the fourth year phase at the Ellison S. Floyd, College of Medicine at Washington State University, and she's right over the Cascade Mountains for me. She is going to be joined with two great students, Rose Milano from George Washington University School of Medicine and Health Sciences, and Natalia Perez, who's a student at the University of Maryland School of Medicine. And they're going to be talking about how to use Aquifer to support fourth year and advanced rotations. Dr. Leslie Fall, who is our Chief Executive Officer at Aquifer, as well as an adjunct professor at the Geisel School of Medicine at Dartmouth, is going to be joined by Dr. Amy Wilson-Voss, who is the Senior Director for our Aquifer Sciences course, Professor of Pharmacology, and the Associate Dean for Curriculum at Case Western Reserve University. They are going to be talking about how to leverage Aquifer in basic science and didactic learning. Finally, Dr. Melissa Held, who is an associate editor for our Aquifer Pediatrics course and is also an associate professor of pediatrics and the dean for student affairs at the University of Connecticut School of Medicine, is going to be joined by Dr. Craig Myers, who is the director of the clinical curriculum for the physician assistant studies program at the Case Western University School of Medicine. So it's a great group of people, and I think that you're going to have fun learning from them, and I'm sure that they'll have fun learning from you. So a little bit about Aquifer, if you don't know. We are an educational not-for-profit, and here is our mission that's really stood the test of time. This has been what we have been doing since we were established in 2006. We're dedicated to delivering the best healthcare education through collaborative development and research into innovative, high-impact virtual teaching and learning methods. And I have been so pleased to be a part of Aquifer, really since we began as a HRSA initiative in pediatrics in about 2000. One of the things that I love best about Aquifer is getting to work with just so many wonderful educators. So we have more than 65 medical educators working on our course boards and interdisciplinary teams. And the work that you see as you use Aquifer is really a product of all their great innovation and attention to care and accuracy. So we're really dedicated to that high quality education for all of our students. And we do this in partnership with national organizations, and these are listed here. And I think of Aquifer as the execution arm of the national curriculum from these different organizations. So all of our content is based on the things that educators around the country think are important for healthcare profession students to learn. So you can have some confidence that it's linked back. As part of our not-for-profit mission, we also partner with these organizations to facilitate scholarly innovations. So what has been going on with Aquifer? What is our impact? As you can see here, we've had more than 13 million cases completed since our founding in 2006. We're used in the majority of allopathic medical schools, osteopathic medical schools, and just a tremendous number of physician and assistant and nursing programs. With the COVID disruption, we served more than 500 programs just in that time period in the spring, and we've had more than 73,000 registered students. I mentioned the consortium, but they are part of the educators that contribute to the materials that you all are using. We've had more than 240 academic educators contribute in the last year to high quality assessment, keeping the cases up to date, and developing teaching materials that you all can use. So a little bit more, and many of you already know this, what we did during the spring was provide free access through the end of June to everybody who would like to use Aquifer. And we had a lot of programs served. You can see that number there, and more than 500,000 cases completed just in April alone. We extended that this next year for full course grant libraries. Again, with the not-for-profit mission, we've awarded more than $1.2 million to 160. We're really happy that more people are getting to see the great work of all the educators that I highlighted before. So what I'm going to do now is stop sharing these slides and take you into what's actually in your subscription. So hopefully everybody can see this right here. This is our website. And if you go to courses, you can see that we have a variety of courses that are available. Our signature courses that we call the first ones that I'm highlighting, again, are all developed in collaboration with these national education organizations that I highlighted before. So family medicine, geriatrics, internal medicine, pediatrics, and radiology comprehensively cover the content of those the curriculum for those organizations, and we have a nice linkage to each one of their learning objectives. In addition to this, so this is specialty based, and I'm going to show you how to mix and match in just a minute. We also have these wonderful cases that really cover key topics that span all of these different specialties. We partnered with the Society for Improvement of Diagnosis in Medicine to create Aquifer Diagnostic Excellent cases and course, and so you have access to that. Aquifer High Value Care was done in collaboration with the American College of Physicians and AAIM, and these again are interdisciplinary. We have a wonderful module about the medical home and how to take care of complex patients, and this is in pediatric land. And then finally, we have a great oral case presentation skills that students really like that can help get them jump started once they're ready to go into the clinics. So you may also have some access to WiseMD or Wise on Call that Aquifer also distributes in behalf of NYU. So I just wanted to make sure that you all knew what you actually get in your subscription. And so we're going to go to the next slide. And here's just a few ideas of really how to maximize your subscription. I gave you that overview of, depending on what your organization subscribe to, you really can become creative about how to use these cases to scaffold student learning, to fill gaps, and to really make it so that your students are going to be successful in the next year. So what I'd like to do now, Rose, if you can bring up the poll, is we're going to find out what you know about Aquifer, and we'll go from there. So please vote, go for it. You can do this on Zoom. Yay, people are engaged. Yay, keep going, I love this. So we'll give this just a couple more seconds, probably. Looks like we've tapped out. Thanks everybody who voted. And it looks like a lot of you have used this searchable case library, so that's great. And so hopefully I'll be able to build a little bit on what you know and then link that to the custom course, which really is a nice functionality that we have. And then we'll go through some of the great. All right. Thanks, Rose. Perfect. Okay. So now what I'm going to do again is get out of Zoom. I mean, get out of these, not out of Zoom. That would be sad. And show you what we've got here. And I'm going to close that and go into Aqueduct. So this is what you'll be seeing when you go in, and many of you have already used a searchable case library, but I'm going to open that up at the top and just highlight a couple of things. Great. So you can see that you can search for a whole bunch of different ways, and depending on how you want to use it. One of the things that I really love is by system to create links to basic science, or if I'm creating a special course for students for either remediation or linking to clerkship activities. What I'm going to do now is show you how to, and you can do it by signature course, presenting problem, right? The final diagnosis, which is a little bit different, and clinical disciplines. And what I'm going to do now is just create a course for you. And so here I searched by the tagging that we've done internally to identify all of the different courses, cases that have to do with women's health. And so I'm going to do a mix of some free courses that I have, as well as family medicine. We get some younger patients here, a little bit older. We do labor and delivery. I don't want to have it too skewed. And so, great. So I have a nice mix between some of our free courses, family medicine, internal medicine. And then what I'm going to do is go over here and create a course, right? And so, yes, I want to create that course, and awesome. So here's my new course. I'm going to make this part of an LIC that we're going to do from July 9th, starting tomorrow, until August 8th. And I encourage you to go ahead and label these because it makes it easier to track which students are in, and it's easy for you to duplicate them. So you can just change the dates if you'd like. And so the description here is a place that you can put in instructions to your students. And I do this for the students when I use a custom course. And so complete the first 4 cases before Friday's sessions will require 4 cases a week. Okay, great. And then I'm going to make me responsible for this. Okay, and then I can pick my start date right there, my end date. So I said back in here. And so they have until that Wednesday so they don't get locked out. And then here are all the cases that I picked. So again, it's really easy when you do the search to put it in a custom course as opposed to going through and doing it different ways. Invite access, and so they will get an invitation, custom course, and here I have created my course. And you can see that there's the label, here is my instructions that I put in, and here are all of the courses. And one of the things that people did have a question about is, do each one of the cases have learning objectives? The answer is yes. And so in this view, as an instructor, you're able to see the learning objectives right here. So here they are for the family medicine. And then the other thing that I really like is you have a little case synopsis that tells you just a little bit about what's in the case. So you can just make sure that with your sorting, you actually get the things that you want. Okay? And so then what I want to do is put in some course users. Oops. So I'm going to add them by list, right? And here are all the list of everybody who has been registered as a student at my institution. So I have 5 students. I'm going to add the 5 members. They are going to go ahead and get invitations. And here are my students. So that's totally awesome. And then I go back to my course and I'm looking at their reports. And so this is a great way to make sure that it can limit the number of students that you see at one time to the number of cases that you actually need. And then if you need to go in, and many of you have already done you've used this functionality, then you can see their expert comments and any summaries if you're looking, if you're using that for assessment. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the webinar. So that's an overview of sort of using the case library, how to create a custom course, and some of the functionalities there. The last thing that I'd like to highlight are educator resources. So we do have an onboarding course. So if you need a refresher on any of these, any of the things that I've covered, we've created a course right there. And you can invite some of your other faculty to that if you would like to introduce them to Aquifer. But in the educator resources, I just want to highlight, as you're thinking about how to use all of everything that you have, each one of our courses has a resource, and I'm just going to show you the geriatrics resource, but all of them are very similar. They have a quick guide that tells you a little bit about what the case is, the differential diagnosis, and the final diagnosis, if you'd like to see it that way. I don't want to lose that. Okay, and then in the educator guide, one of the things that I really like about this educator guide, it goes over, the course pedagogy, what's in a case. This is a great thing to share with your faculty if you need to orient them perhaps to the cases. But in geriatrics, they've already done the work for you all. And that's one of the things I love about our consortium, is that they have mapped across different specialties where you might use the cases. So you could see that you could put a number of the geriatrics cases in a palliative care medicine course. There's an osteopathic case, women's health, as we found out, and some that are appropriate for sub-interns. So that's just a high level overview of some of the things that are involved, available for you in our in Aqueduct, in our educator resources. And I think with that, I'm going to go back to our slides and get you all ready. So what we're going to be doing next is going into the breakout room. So again, you all signed up for a breakout when you registered. If for some reason you get moved to the wrong breakout room, don't worry about that. Just return to the main room in the bottom corner of the screen. It'll take you to the main room. Just talk to the folks there, and then we'll shoot you to the right room. And we'll join back together here as a group at 3:55, and we'll go over a few more resources, answer any questions that really need to be answered. And I hope that you all have a great time talking with all of the educators that we've brought together, and the people who are monitoring the chats. If you had any questions about things that I said, feel free to go ahead and ask them there. So I think that with that, we may be 1 or 2 minutes ahead of schedule, which is, I think, okay. And maybe we can just pop to the breakout sessions, or you'll just get to jump up and down and move around, and we'll see you there in a couple of minutes.
Charlene Rose is going to move everyone now to the breakouts. Thanks.
Awesome. Perfect.